Bring it back home now. Soweto taxi commuters are worried that some routes may be shut down. Transport MEC Ismail Vadi says several routes have been plagued by violence. He is now hoping to address the problem once and for all. Our reporter Malungelo Booi is tracking this story for us. Malungelo, good to talk to you. Let's just go across to him now. Malungelo, tell us where you are at the present moment. We know there was a bit of a blockade in downtown Johannesburg.
That's right, Tony. We're still downtown Johannesburg, where taxi operators have been able to hand over their memorandum to the officials from the Transport MEC's office. They've been hoping, though, to meet with the MEC and hand the memorandum to him. One of the things they're calling for, Tony, is for him not to even consider shutting down those routes in Soweto amid the taxi violence. But also they are saying that him closing down routes, that will also put these taxi operators out of business. They're saying that they'll lose at least 6.5 million rand a day if MEC Ismail Vadi goes ahead with his threat. They're saying that him closing down also these routes does not actually, Tony, address the problem. Well, here's the problem, they say. They say the problem is that the officials from the transport department would issue operating permits to operators, even though the route is already being serviced by another operator. They say that leads to conflict, and they're saying that Ismail Vadi, him closing down the routes, does not actually address that particular problem. They're saying that he has to address that problem. Bear in mind, Tony, that in 2017 there was a similar problem where Ismail Vadi also closed these particular routes, and these taxi operators are saying that if Ismail Vadi believes that this particular route is a problem, why did he reopen it, to start with? And they're saying that as a result, he must in fact resign from his position, because it seems as if he is failing in his portfolio, and saying that also under his leadership the problem has actually escalated here in Gauteng. Tony?
Now, this all started on the 5th of March, where there was a shooting. A minibus was actually attacked and 6 people were shot and injured, and 10 vehicles had been damaged. So the MEC is saying he's taking extraordinary measures. There's 5,000 taxis we're talking about here. Has he given any alternatives at all?
Well, that's the thing, Tony. That's one of the arguments that these taxi operators are arguing, saying that, well, when the MEC shuts down these routes, automatically he's forcing these businesses, these operators out of business, and that pushing taxi commuters to go use the BRT or the trains. And these taxi operators, in fact, are saying that the MEC is trying to force them out of business in favor of the BRT. We know how contentious that issue, Tony, is, because we know that taxi operators almost everywhere have been vehemently opposed to the introduction of the BRT, and these taxi operators believe that, well, with the MEC pushing towards or even threatening to shut down these routes, well, he's just trying to support the BRT system. And these taxi operators are saying that they will not allow that to happen. They want him to sit down with them, go back to the negotiation tables and find a solution to the problem.
Okay, the MEC did give the taxi operators a deadline of last week, Thursday, to make their submissions as to why he should not close the taxi rank itself. Firstly, did they do so? Did they adhere to that deadline? And secondly, when can we expect to hear from him his decision?
Well, we do know, Tony, that those submissions by the rival taxi groups were submitted to the MEC. In fact, the MEC's spokespeople were telling me that the MEC had been studying those submissions that were made. And of course, Tony, only after he has satisfied himself with those submissions, then he can make an announcement as to what decision he takes, whether he shuts down those routes or not. Only time will tell. We have not been given a date as to when that decision will be made. And of course, these taxi operators were telling me that they were expecting that decision to be made today. Hence, they decided to come and put pressure to him not to continue with that decision of shutting down or even planning to shut down those routes in Soweto.
All right, thank you so much. Malungelo Booi reporting for us in downtown Johannesburg as that blockade continues. And guess who suffers at the end of the day? It's the Soweto commuters.